A number of hours later, I have finished all 5 scarves. Varying success on like true scarf length. So let me walk you through what we have. The Loopity Loop was 7 inches by 80 inches. The Loops and Thread Loops was 6 by 66 inches. Off the hook came in at 5.5 by 60. Red Heart Loop It is the smallest at 5.5 by 52. And Burnout Allies is 6.5 by 100 inches. So let's talk more details. Big Twist, that's this one. It's one of the big fluffy ones. And it, 7 by 80 is not bad, honestly. I mean, this is scarf width and length. Nice and snugly. You could easily double that over. Here it is. One level out. So there it is in half. You could easily wrap that around really nicely around your neck. It'd be warm and snuggly. Even, this is an 8 stitches or 8 loops. And I had a touch left over, but not enough to do another row. So you could go another 1 or 2 out and still have a decently nicely length scarf. So this was very successful. And the cost being $1.50 per ounce, 52.5 cents per yard. If I think about it, I will do the math on square inches. This is about 560 square inches, so it's about 15 cents a square inch. That's probably a bit anal retentive, but if you want those kind of details, I can put that down in the comment or in the description. So this was a really good buy. It did work up fairly easy, but honestly, I'd rather have just knitted something. I don't remember what time I did the previous video, but it's something like 9:30 at night, and I've only made 5 scarves that are bulky weight. So it's probably been 7 hours worth of work. I mean, I've done a few other things. I ate, those kinds of things. But honestly, like 7 hours later, I could have easily made 7 scarves or more the standard way. So not necessarily thinking this is actually very useful for those of us who already knit and crochet. However, if you are someone who does not do that, this is a lot better than trying to, or a lot easier, not better, but easier than trying to learn to make a scarf for this Christmas. But by and large, I'd suggest just learning to knit or crochet if you want something faster. But this is a good quick project for those of you who don't already know a craft. So that is the Loopity Loops by Big Twist. It's very mottled, as you can see. Most of them are. Then you have the Burnout Allies Blanketies. And I wanted to talk about this one because it is 6.5 inches wide by 100 inches long, approximately. It's a bit stretchy, so it's close to 100 inches long. It might be a little more or a little less depending how you have it stretched. I liked this one quite a bit. It's really quite soft and fluffy. The loops are nice and big. It's about 650 square inches. But for the cost, that's not necessarily very cost effective. So 650, yeah, not particularly cost effective. So we would need to consider that overall, but it is very easy to use. One of the things I like about it, I didn't see it so much in this one or the Big Twist, but it may just be how many loops I selected. One of the things you'll notice is kind of a little bit of that color pooling happening where if I was doing this a little bit bigger, like twice as big, you may actually get that kind of plaid-ish look that people really love in the color pooled scarves. So this is quite long, as you can see. It is super thick and fluffy. This would be a great scarf. Again, easy to double over. Get that put back over here. So that one's really nice. Again, that's also the original one I've seen. I'd never seen one before that one. And the big twist was the next one that I saw in person. Now, I had heard of the Loop It and Off the Hook pretty close after the Burnett. And then I saw in person the Loops next. So I saw Burnett, then big twist, then I saw the Loops, and then I, by Michael's brand, Loops and Threads. And then I actually in person saw the Loop It. And then I finally had to order the Off the Hook, though I do see it now at Joann's. Speaking of which, Off the Hook is next. Now this does come in these mottled colors as well, and these also come in solids. But I find these more interesting if I have to go with something. And this was the only color available and a color that I wanted when I was getting that. And you can see how much shorter the Lion Brand one is. Now it does come down to 5.5 by 60 inches, so it's still decently scarf sized, but you really can't double this over and loop it through. You would have to wrap it around, which is what I generally do anyway. So it's totally doable with one skein. But as the packaging says, they recommend a skein for a hat, 2 skeins for a scarf, and 3 skeins for a baby blanket. And I would trust them on that. Next we have the Loop It. And Loop It, they all were pretty easy to do. These smaller ones that came out at about $5.99 each. All 3 of these didn't go as far as the bigger ones, but that's expected. So you can see this is also quite short. This one came at 5.5 inches by 52 inches for 8 stitches across. One thing you'll notice, there's sometimes a couple of like loose loops. You do get a little lost, and this one actually had a knot in it, which is even more frustrating here than it is normally because there isn't really a way to sew it in. Where normally I would just undo the knot, do a couple of stitches, crocheted or knitted, and kind of like weave it in, but this you really can't do that with, and so that's a little frustrating. I doubt that's unique to this particular brand. It just happened that that's the one I got it in. Now they say a scarf takes 2 balls, and for a scarf that size, I would agree. And then we have the Loops by Michael's, Loops and Threads. Again, it's a shorty. What I really like about the Loops and Threads is it's gradient. So it's not that mottled color. Not that the mottled colors or anything wrong with that. It's just, this is a nice gradient. So it was really easy to look at. It's really quite pretty. It's a nice grayish color in this light anyway. They say that it is aubergine, and I think of aubergine as purple. So it's entirely possible that, oh no, sorry. Aubergine is the one they did this in. So they put 2 different color names on here. This is actually, what color does it say it is? Oh, I cannot read that there. Hopi corn. Hopi corn. Like Hopi, the Hopi Native Americans. Hopi corn. Sure, it's gray. Unless I have the wrong label on there, which sometimes is possible, except if you get to the store. The breakdown for this particular one is 6 inches by 66 inches. So there you go. It is the longest of the short ones. And so if you wanted to talk about square inches, it's got to have the best cost for the smaller ones per square inch. But it came down to $1.71 per ounce, $6 for a ball. So there you go, you guys. A breakdown of what those scarves look like when they're done. They take, I'm going to say if I did 5 of them in 7 hours, was that just an hour 25 each? An hour and a half, like an hour and a quarter? Let's say an hour and a quarter each, which isn't so bad. I mean, it's a lot of episodes of the Great Big Quiz of Everything. But it was, good time had by all, I suppose. So yeah, super quick. for a scarf if you've never knitted or crocheted before. So if that's your goal for this Christmas, these are fantastic for the price. You're probably going to enjoy the Burnout Allies or the Big Twist Loops, Loopity Loop for cost, for the size of the scarf you get. But if you're looking for something cheap and sufficient, go for the Michaels Loops, because that's going to give you the largest scarf for the $6 price. The other thing that does for you is it's not that fuzzy chenille stuff, so this is probably not going to give you that amazingly large quantity of fuzz if you need to wash it in the washing machine in the dryer. This stuff, it doesn't shed a lot in the washer and dryer. I have a couple other blankets and stuff made of this kind of yarn, but it does, it still sheds a bit in the dryer. So this is going to give you a little bit of a better time in the washer dryer. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.